Hey everybody, welcome to Listen Up, Listening Podcast. I am Preezy, and I am very, very happy that you tuned in. I hope your Friday is going well. Yes, it's Friday. You ready for the weekend? You ready for the weekend? Y'all know I can sing, right? Y'all know I can sing. Stop hating. Anyway, I hope your day was good. First of all praises to Jehovah God and Jesus Christ every day. And give yourself a round of applause. Yes, because you woke up this morning. I hope you have some great plans for this weekend. Please be safe. Be careful of your surroundings because your surroundings is watching ya. Believe that. Anyway, this episode is going to be awesome. I have a lot of co-host guests. Yes, I packed the show today. And what we're going to be talking about? Opposite sex friendships. Yes, is it okay to have friends of opposite gender while in a relationship or married? Can you have a best friend of the opposite gender while you're married? Yes, I said that. Yes. Maintaining friendships with the opposite sex when your spouse don't like it. What you gonna do? And what about if your best friend works on the job with you? Opposite sex. And also, we have two more discussions we're gonna talk about. I'm not gonna tell you. Stay tuned to Listen Up, Listening Podcast. Let's get it.
Tanya, you ready?
Listen up, listen in. 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 Thanks for tuning in. Let's have a conversation. Talking worldwide, it don't matter your location. What you going through and the topic may have relation. Let's get some motivation. Let's swap out education. Every Friday we heal, laugh, improve, and grow. Put some nutrients in your mind, give you food for the soul. I know you pumped and preparing for your weekend and low. Might as well join the discussion and tune into the show. Listen up, listen in. Listen up, listen in. Listen up, listen in. Listen up, listen in. Listen up, listen in.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning in to Listen Up, Listen In Podcast. I'm your host, Preezy. Now before I start today's episode, I would love for you guys and gals to follow me on social media. Go to Instagram, Listen Up, Listen In 5687, and on Facebook, Listen Up, Listen In. You can also email me at listenuplissenin5687@gmail.com. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, by following me on social media, you'll be able to see all the platforms my podcast is on. Wherever you consume my podcast, hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when a new episode is posted. Rate, review, and share this podcast. Now let's get back to Listen Up, Listen In.
Hello?
Hey, David.
Hey.
We got David on. Okay, we just waiting for a few other people to join us.
All right.
Stay tuned. Like this one. It's coming on. We got Snooks coming on.
We got everybody so far. They coming on. They coming on.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Let's see. A long time. Yeah. How's everything going, David?
I'm good. I'm doing well. How about you?
Can't complain. All right, who we got here? Okay. We got Judith. We got Mr. Freeze. How you guys doing?
Great, thank you.
How's everyone?
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining. Listen up, listen in. We're just waiting for one more,
Yeah, one more person.
and that will be Snooks, right?
Yes.
All right. We're just waiting for Snook. Judy, how you doing? How's your day?
My day was fantastic.
Oh, that good, huh?
Every day.
Oh, that's good. God is good.
All the time.
And all the time.
That's right.
Yes.
Especially when the boss is not there.
Oh, well, I hope your boss is not listening.
I hope not. Yeah, she's okay. She's good. It don't matter. She's good people.
That's good. That's good. Mr. Freeze, what's going on?
Good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm glad you could join my podcast. Listen up, listen in.
Thank you so
How
much
was your day?
for having me on. Thank you so much.
Yeah, how was your day today?
It was good. You know, just taking it easy, relaxing. Due to the weather outside, it's so hot out there.
Yeah, all the time.
Easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait for it to at least cool down just a little bit.
I'm ready.
Well, it's raining. It's raining by me, so it's cooling it off now.
Oh, but when it rains, it gets hotter though. That's
no,
when
not
bad.
here.
Really?
It takes off the hot heat. It cools it down. And matter of fact, it's supposed to be cooler for the weekend. So I'm looking.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm trying to see if Snooks is coming on. I'll give her a few more minutes before we start. Just click it. Just click the group. Just click the link. It doesn't matter. All right. Bye. I have a little technical difficulties here. Getting a little confused. I want to start, but I'm gonna give her a few more seconds and see. We got a great. Here she go. There she go.
Snook.
Thought you didn't want to join us, Snooks.
No, you text me, Special Ed, in two different. You text me and then you text me.
It doesn't matter. It's the same link. Turn your volume up. It's the same link. All you have to do is click it.
But when I click one, it's not opening one. And then when I go into the other one, it's saying unable to connect. I don't know how I'm on it, but on my end, it's saying unable to connect. I mean, that's what I was trying to explain.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
But it says I'm on, but I just can't see y'all.
No, you're not supposed to see us.
No, it's just audio.
Snooks?
Audio.
It's just audio.
No, I know that, but sometimes, usually, I'll see y'all names. I can't see nothing.
Oh, okay. You're probably invisible.
Yeah, but as long as I'm on, I guess it's recording.
Yeah, you on. So we got Snooks, we got Judith, we got Mr. Freeze, and we got David, and of course,
Giggle.
and Preezy. And thank you everybody for joining Listen Up, Listening podcast. And this topic tonight, well, we got about one or two topics, but
About two. And a bonus question.
okay.
Definitely got a bonus.
So tonight we will be discussing being in a relationship and having opposite sex friendships.
Woo!
Yes.
Interesting.
Very interesting. And we would love to hear everybody's opinion. I'm not going to talk so much because I'm always talking. So I'm going to fall back. So I just would like to know, and everybody, let everybody speak one at a time because I want to hear everybody's opinion. Is it okay to have friends of the opposite gender while in a relationship? It could be marriage, boyfriend and girlfriend.
Right.
Is it okay to have friends of the opposite gender while in a relationship?
I'm going to say yes.
First victim.
Whoever wants to go first.
I'm going to say yes.
Speak a little louder, Snooks, because we can't hardly hear you.
I said I'm going to say yes.
And why is that?
depends on the woman's insecurities and how secure she's in her relationship.
Okay, so you're saying, okay, you're in a relationship, so it's okay for your partner to have a friend of the opposite sex. It's okay for Rod to have a friend of the opposite sex.
Yes.
Okay, no.
All right. Well,
No.
I have met his female friends, and you know, we went on trips together, way together, hung out together.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't shown no other than anything that's going on.
Okay, so have you ever allowed Rod to hang out with her by himself?
Yes.
Okay.
well, I mean, that's an honest answer. I mean,
They went out to eat, drink, you know, hang out with other mutual friends. They've been alone together, just on some friendship type thing. It's never been nothing other than.
yeah, they're very secure, you know, in their relationship. So, you know, they have that trust. You know, there seems to be no insecurities in their relationship, so it works for them.
Okay.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I just wanted to kind of jump in, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Vanessa, you finished? I mean, Snooks?
Yeah.
yeah. So for me personally, I've had male friends in the past,
Excuse me. Who are we
and I
talking? Who's
have
on?
never.
Wait, 1 second.
been-
1 second. Who is this?
Miss
Who is
T.
this? Oh, Miss T. Okay, Miss T, join us. I didn't know you was there, Miss T. I'm sorry.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah, so I just want to throw in there that I've had male friends in the past, and out of all those male relationships, at some point in time, it has always come out that they've had a crush, or they've liked me, or they've made advances. Even if in the beginning we started out as friends, and I'm thinking, okay, this is a good friend of mine. We're not crossing those lines. We're not crossing those boundaries. And before I know it, they're making advances.
Wow.
So can you have a friendship with the opposite sex? I don't know. A
Right.
true friendship. Because,
Right.
you know, it's human nature to be attracted to someone of the opposite sex if you're
Right.
straight.
Right. Right. Okay. Anybody else wanna
This-
elaborate on that?
This is Miss J.
Miss J in the house.
right.
All right.
I like to say it depends on your relationship with the person you're with. If it's just a casual friendship, yes, you can have your friends because you probably are dating in between other people. If you're serious in a relationship, if you're engaged or you're married, that could be different because, you know, you can have a friendship, but what kind of friendship? Is it a conversational friendship? Is it a once in a while you call the person and say, hi, how you doing? How's the family? Hanging out. If you're engaged and you're married, that can be a problem. Again, it depends on each individual and the situation they're in. And as I heard today on a talk show, it is very difficult for men to be in a relationship with a female unless one of you are gonna like each other more. Because if you're just a casual relationship, a man not gonna call you up and get into deep conversations with you. He gotta have an interest there. A
Right.
female,
That's
it could be different.
Women-
A female might just want to talk and have somebody to talk to, and she'll call the guy. But if he's calling you, it's a little bit more than just being conversational. As we know, and I'm not stereotyping, I'm not saying this false for all men, but men don't talk, they don't communicate as women do. Women can talk about something on and on and on. He's not about that. He's gonna cut to the chase, talk about what he want to talk to, and when he's talking with his boys, it's basically the same subjects. You know, it's sports, women, but basically sports. Now, if he's calling you like that, it's a little bit more to it. It's not just being just your buddy, just to talk and chat. Whereas women, they can have that kind of relationship. So it depends on, and I said, based on, you can't judge every couple and put them all in the same category. Everybody's in their relationship for different reasons.
Right.
That is
Maybe
true.
they're swingers. Maybe they're swingers. They don't mind jumping from one person to another. Maybe they have a mutual understanding. Hey, I hang out with my girl, my guy. You hang out with yours. So
Or an open relationship too.
But for the majority, it is not that way.
Okay. Okay. That was a good point, Miss J.
I think David wants to say something too.
Somebody else.
Yeah.
I heard somebody else.
Yeah, so I agree with what Mom said. I think that, you know, men do. I agree with everything she said. I don't want to repeat everything, but I think it works both ways, right? Like,
Right.
you know, not only men think like that, but there's also women out there that think in the same way. Like, can men talk and call for conversation? Like, I know people like that now that are not, oh, I'm just in for the kill and in just for this, for the physical. You know, they're just looking for conversation. So I think it's something it's a two-way street. I think because it's more known to happen with men, that it's not as prevalent with women, but it does happen. Like it does. And as far as like having I guess, can you have a friendship with somebody of the opposite sex? I think it's a situational thing, right? Like, if you've known somebody for a long period of time, I think that person should know and respect and have boundaries when it comes to your relationship, right?
Right.
So,
boundaries.
I think that's very important. I think that as long as they respect it, that's fine. And it's not, and it doesn't have to be a situation where you speak to each other all the time, right? Like I think, and from my understanding, for most men, like if you're talking to your close friend that's a female, you know, often, is that really a close friend or is that something else, right? Like, or is it a situation where you say, hey, how you doing? How's everything going? How's the family? Blah, blah, blah. Keep it pushing, keep it moving.
Right.
So I agree. Most men that are in relationships, I mean, at least from what I've seen, you know, they don't have a close, unless they're like a relative, they don't have a close female friend that they're like, oh, this is my best friend. It's like, it just doesn't work that way. You know, like it's not something that's a normal occurrence. If you get what I'm saying.
We got it.
Yeah, and I just want to add in before I have to run off to the kids. You know, we're talking best friend here. We're not talking, you know, your associate or your acquaintance, because in those situations, you're not going to speak to them, you know, having, you know, conversation. But one thing you do want to say,
hold on, Miss T, you breaking up. You breaking up.
In the same room together, you and Mr.
You
D?
breaking up.
Can you hear me?
No.
Yeah, it's good now.
Oh, okay, all right. So I was saying that we're talking about close friends, you know, someone that you consider a best friend. And so when you have those type of relationships, you want to set boundaries. You want to make sure you set boundaries with yourself to know, okay, what are my boundaries as, you know, a female? What am I willing to do and not do, right? So I could have peace within myself. Then you also want to make sure that you trust your mate if they are going to have a female friend. You don't want to come across as if you don't trust them, because that can cause and then they can just continue to have that friend without, you know, respecting your wishes, because they're going to, you know, first thing they're going to say is, well, you don't trust me anyway, so what difference does it make? So trust factor is important. And then you want to be trustworthy, right? You don't want to be telling that person that they can't do certain things, or you don't feel comfortable with certain things, but then yet you're doing things.
Right.
And so, you know, and respecting your mate's wishes. So if they come to you and they say, listen, I don't feel comfortable with the relationship, or, you know, how close you guys are, you know, respect that. Sit down together and, you know, discuss what your boundaries are going to be as a couple. And sometimes you may have to compromise, and that's okay, because your mate, your spouse is number one. They should always be primary. And that friend is always going to be secondary.
Exactly.
And that's all I got to say on that.
All right. And like Snooks did say that she had to trust. So trust means everything. Trust is important. And like you said, if something is not right, you sit down and you talk about it. Because
Communication.
right, because you want to respect your partner. I don't care what it is. I don't care how long you've been together, how long you had this friendship with this person. You still want to respect your partner at the end of the day. Anybody else want to say, Mr. Freeze? You got something to say, Mr. Freeze?
Well, I have to agree with everyone because I think you gotta have boundaries. You gotta have respect for your significant other. I mean, if they have friends that are opposite sex before you were with them, then you just have to trust your partner. And because if you don't have that, and you don't have like all of you have said, if you don't have open dialogue with each other and communication, which is the most important thing, you have to communicate with each other, and if you don't have that, then you don't have anything.
Right.
You gotta have respect for the opposite sex, and also have respect for yourself,
Right.
Because I don't think it's right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's right to do something like that. Like a couple of you guys said, you gotta have certain boundaries that you just can't cross. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I think that's important. I mean, you could be friends with the opposite sex. It can be done. It can be, but you just gotta have boundaries. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know, like some guys, they do like. I'm not saying all guys do, but some guys wander off. If you know what I mean?
Right.
But sometimes most times they do it too, though. So it kind of works like both ways. But you gotta have respect for each other, and I think you gotta have that. If you don't have in any type of relationship, you have to have.
I mean, but what if? Okay, that's fine. But what about the part where, okay, it's fine. Your best friend comes over and you're with your significant other and you're hanging out. But what about when that person, your partner, is hanging out with his best friend late at night?
Mm-hmm.
And you're not there.
Well, I think.
Would you let them go away? Well, that's their best friend.
Well, I think
without you.
I think you gotta have trust. That's when.
Okay, who's in the ocean?
When trust becomes.
Somebody's in the water.
It's a lot of noise in the background.
That's probably my earpiece.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think you gotta have trust, because if you don't, you gotta have trust in that person, because that really shows you how the love is between you and your significant other. If she really loves you,
okay,
or if he really loves you, you gotta trust them to do that. It's like you gotta have faith, and you have to believe in the love that you guys built. Because because if you don't have that, then that relationship is gonna be doomed from the beginning.
Right. Okay. So what about? Okay, somebody else wants to say something. Go ahead, Ms. J.
I just want to add that it's not only just a matter of trust, because you can have trust, but the behavior of the other person,
absolutely,
to them it could be okay. But if it's something that's hurtful to you, and you communicate that, and they still continue it, it's not a matter of trusting.
Oh, right.
The other thing is that if you
a lot of noise in the background. Sorry, Miss J. It's just a lot of noise in the background. Go ahead, Miss J.
If you communicate your feelings to somebody that certain things they do are hurtful to you, and they continue it, I mean, love is a two-way street. So even if I feel 100% about something, that I'm okay with it, and if you're not, that's too bad. But that's not really acknowledging the person's feelings, whether you agree or disagree. If that person is important to you and your relationship is important, you might have to forego some of the things that you think are okay to do, because that's your soulmate, like that's your mate you chose. And if that's the person you really want to be with, you're going to try to be as much as possible to keep that relationship going with that person, because they are the most important thing to you.
Right.
So, because today, when that comment came out, the person said, well, I don't care what they want. If that's my friend, I'm going to do whatever I want. So again,
There's
how
no
do you
respect.
feel about the person
Right.
that's supposed to be your soulmate? You allowing your friendship with somebody to really topple your relationship with your soulmate. So
Right.
again, it depends on where your mind, where your head is at, and where your heart is at.
Right.
Right.
I think that's why speaking about those things are critical, especially when you're in the beginning stages of a relationship, right? Like, I think the person that you choose to spend your life with, or your soulmate, you know, you should definitely be an open book and say, hey, you know, this is what I got going on. Here's my situation. Especially if you're in the proximity of where, you know, you have history, right? Like if you, you know, if your significant other are in a territory, in the area where, you know a lot of the same people, naturally, if you've been there for a long period of time, you've interacted or had some type of physical, emotional connection with someone else, right?
Right.
And obviously, that situation works. So you're with that other person, and if you choose to, you know, take your relationship a step further, I think those are the things that you guys should communicate with each other and have a conversation. Because
absolutely,
you know, later on down the road, if you happen to be in a situation where you bump into somebody, or you run into a situation and, you know, you're visibly uncomfortable, or your significant other's visibly uncomfortable, then it's like, oh, what's going on with that? And then all of a sudden, you open up this door of uncertainty, right? Like,
Pandora's box, as they say.
Right?
Pandora's box, yeah.
It's like Pandora's box. You gotta
about
open.
that. Right.
Establish everything in the beginning.
Well, let me just point this out about what you establish in the beginning does not have to continue 15, 20 years from now. Understand, your marriage and your relationship with your marriage mate, your children, is always evolving. So situations in life can cause things to change. But even with that change, you still have to go back to the foundation, to the basics. Like you said, communication and respecting that other person's feelings, or
That's
respecting
important.
each other's feelings, because you might not feel, you have evolved, you have grown. You might not feel like that person feels. You have moved on. But if they feel that way, it's a matter of respecting their feelings. So even like I said, even if you think, oh man, you know, no, it's nothing like that, but if I see something, it might cause me an alarm. So that's why you really have to, sometimes you have to, even if you feel like nothing is wrong and everything you're doing is okay, but if it's causing pain and hurt to your partner, if it's important to you, then you will do what you need to do to keep your relationship going.
Absolutely.
As long as it's not causing nothing against your conscience or your relationship with God, you trying to resolve things. Even sometimes with our children, we have to do things differently because we want to capture and retain the love of that child. And if we see them going astray, we might say, oh, right away, I'm going to get the belt and do discipline. But we might have to deal with that child differently to draw that child in.
Right.
So the same thing with your relationship with your children, your husband, your wife. Nothing from the beginning is going to be like that in the middle, 10 years from now, 15, 20. People change.
Right.
And so you can't say, I had that conversation in the beginning, I let you know how I feel. That don't mean you're going to feel that way 5, 10 years from now.
Well, what I was saying,
the first year won't happen 10, 15 years from now.
Yeah, but what I was trying to say is that whatever issue, whatever situation you've had prior, like your spouse or your significant other should know about it, so that way they're not, you know, not blindsided or surprised by a situation that comes up. And I think if your relationship is mature and, you know, you guys have been together for years, I don't think a situation that happened in the past should interrupt or disrupt their relationship, because that's something that happened in the past, and I don't think that person is going to be a friend. Like, that's not, you know, that shouldn't interrupt it at all. You know, from my I think, you know, from that, you know, going back to what everybody's been saying, communication is key. What happened? This is where I came from. Especially if you're in a scenario where you're still staying in a place where you have history, right? Both you and your significant other.
And remember one other thing. This is something called meta communications. I don't have to say certain things, but I can look a certain way at a person. I can give you an eye. women, I have to say that we have an instinct. We pick up on things like that. I'm sure men do too, but really women do. And so we'll pay attention to your body language, because while you speak one thing, your body language
tells everything.
is saying something else.
Right.
So that's another thing. So when your person's around your friend, and if they feel a certain kind of way, then they might be speaking from what they observed. So I'm just saying, there's a lot of scenarios too. There's no easy cut way about it.
Right.
Like you said, no
There's
matter
no
what
right or wrong
situation you
answer.
face,
Right.
you have to communicate, let your feelings be known, and hopefully you have the respect for each other and the love is there that you want to continue on. That's the only thing I can say to that.
Right.
Because your love will be tested.
Right.
That's for
So
sure.
what if your significant other says, well, I feel uncomfortable, so you have to cut them off.
Well,
You have to end this. You have to end this 20 or 25-year friendship.
Well,
Well,
I gotta speak on that one.
Well, you got
I feel like your spouse's discomfort, with your friendships doesn't mean you have to sever them completely, but it does mean you need to be extra diligent about building your spouse's confidence. Your treatment of that situation should help reassure them that your friendships are safe. You don't have to lose your friendships, but you have to demonstrate that your spouse's needs and your commitment to the marriage are more important.
Right.
Yeah.
agree.
You can, if you can, involve your spouse in the friendship.
okay.
Build
think
them
that's
into
important.
couples.
Snoop said that. Snoop said that.
Like
I said
Snoop
that at the
said,
very
build
yeah.
them into
Yeah.
couples. Go out with them.
Yeah, that's what I said at the very beginning. Like,
Mhm.
all three of us can go out. All three of us can hang out for dinner. All three of us can go away. And I've done it with.
But we've seen. Go ahead, Snooks.
I've done it with Rob. Like, we went away on trips. We
Mhm.
do things, dinner. We even invite her over, and she comes over, and you have to involve them, because if not, that insecurity in a woman is always going to be there.
Right.
All right, but what if that's a game? That's the game they playing.
But
How do you know
we will
it's not
never
a
know-
game?
We would
How you
never know the
it's
game unless it
not
comes out.
you. I'm not saying you per se, but how we know that's not their scheme, or that
Right.
they
We would never.
Let
let her see that we mad cool. Yo, that's my friend. You know what I mean? That's my short. And we
But
go way
like Uncle
back.
Ricky said, it's an instinct. That instinct of a woman is definitely going to show. It's definitely going to be there.
It's a woman can hear somebody fart and she say somebody cheating. Oh, say cheating.
Listen,
Instinct
the
is
thing about it,
powerful.
the thing about a
It is
friendship,
powerful.
That
You don't-
intuition is now joke.
But sometimes assumptions can be wrong.
Yep.
Mhm.
Now your
It can
relationship
be
is
wrong,
ruined
too.
because of it.
It's like a no-win situation. Like, it's either you do get caught in it, and then you
Or you-
don't, and then you act on it, then you were wrong, and then it's no
It's-
right or wrong
I mean,
answer.
Yeah, I mean,
Can
that's
you guys
that's-
hear me?
Yes.
We
Oh,
hear you.
okay.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. I didn't think you could hear me.
No, we hear you.
Somebody else was speaking.
I think David was.
I think just understanding
Oh,
the
that's
extent of the
Miss T.
relationship is important.
Right.
Because you can have a friend where you guys are cool, you respect each other's
Mhm.
boundaries, and that's all it is. And
Right.
everyone is cool with it, there's no issues. But then if they cross those boundaries, or if your spouse or mate feels that those boundaries are being crossed, then what are you going to do about it? That's the real issue. Because we can have friends of the opposite sex. I
Mhm.
spoke from my personal experience. I've never been successful with that, but that doesn't mean
Right.
that it can't happen. But you always
Right.
want to make sure that you're open, you're honest, you communicate, and know yourself too. Because we all know, right? I mean,
Right.
so if you do the part,
Miss T, you in a bad location. You in a bad location. You breaking up.
Hold on, can you hear us now?
Yes.
okay. So if you know your weaknesses, don't put yourself in a situation where you
Right.
may, fall, victim to, being pulled
Mhm.
in or drawn in or doing something that you're going to regret.
Right.
So,
Don't
that's just
entertain it. Do not
right. That's
entertain
just
it. Yep.
just about being mature. Is it okay to, constantly send text messages back and forth,
Right.
with with a friend?
Right.
Have conversations that you wouldn't have with your spouse. right?
Right.
Or I'm not going to talk to my girlfriend about that. I'm going to call up Jessica and I'm going to talk to her because
There
we
go.
talked about
relate,
that.
or
Yeah.
you can't do that, because
Right.
you have to have boundaries physically and also emotionally.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I like that.
All right. Hey, Miss T in the house. Watch your mouth. Yeah. So okay.
Okay, I got another one.
Oh, wait. So are we good with that? Like, so what's the basic thing here? That it's okay to have friendship with the opposite sex as long as you and your partner are on the same page.
Boundaries, trust,
Boundaries,
respect,
right?
Communication.
Right.
And
Like,
growth, like Cookie said,
Right.
growth.
and-
Because
and you-
people change 5, 10, 15 years
Mhm.
from now, and they ain't the same person that said, oh yeah, I'll be okay with it, and then 20 years later they definitely not okay with it.
Right. As long as you
tell
tell
you, as long as you tell your significant other how your friendship is with that person, you got,
Right.
like you said before, you gotta be open and be.
I would say
Honesty is always the best policy. So
honest, like
you have to know, like, what they're getting into.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if you say one thing and like you guys said, if you do one thing now and later on you do something different, like what happened to before? Like what changed?
Right.
You know what I mean? So you don't want issues like that to creep up, cause problems, cause fights. I mean, you don't want that.
Right.
All right. Anybody else have any comments about that? Miss J?
I was just gonna say, in most instances,
It's a lot of hold on. It's a lot of noise in the background, so can y'all keep it down a little bit? Go ahead, Miss J.
I was gonna say it was mentioned on a topic on, I think it was Steve Harvey this morning or whatever, that most men are not going to get into a relationship where they're making phone calls to women to talk about the sky is blue, it's raining today. And they call once in a while. They're going to call maybe about the kids, how you doing, blah blah blah. But they're not going to get into no once a week type of thing or every other day unless there's something there. Now, like I said, women, we do that. We form our friendships and we call and we speak just to be talking. But that's not going to be. And if you have that, somebody's liking somebody more than the other. It's very rare, and I'm not saying it's 100% across the board, but that's not a norm. And David said it himself.
Yeah, Steve Harvey did say that.
If you had a friendship back in the day of when you was in high school, college, but once you get married, you ain't gonna have that kind of you should not. If you do, then it's gonna cause problems. If you got a friend in a job that you feel you can go to and confide, well, you might not be liking her like that, but she's gonna start liking you. And in most cases, the man is liking the woman because he's the aggressive. He's the one to do I know there's women do chasing and stuff like that. But as a whole, the man is the one that's assertive with respect to going after that. And that was mentioned, I'm not using the right word, but it was mentioned today. He's the aggressor. He's the seeker. So he's not going to be seeking you for some conversation just to talk about casual stuff. That might be a beginning, but that ain't where he intends it to go. And that's not the bottom line. That might not be a case for 100%, but it's 99.9.
But she gave that 1%.
I think that same rule applies to women as well. Like men are not the only ones that are guilty of seeking and building those, because naturally women know how to talk, right? And
we could do it too.
It goes both ways.
In order for a woman to be comfortable with a man, right, she's got to be able to have a conversation with him, right? So naturally, if she's comfortable enough to have a conversation with him, she's already thinking in her head, okay, if I'm comfortable enough to have a conversation, like to be with them, and you guys, women will throw those signs out just like men do. I don't think it's
You're breaking up. You're breaking up. You're breaking up, D.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah. I might have to go on the roof.
Yeah, I'm in the it's just that the phone times out. I got to download the app. My bad.
Okay.
I think it does. It does happen with men, but women are also do the same thing. So I don't.
It's true.
Women are guilty of it.
It's true. It's true.
It's not one-sided.
It's not one-sided. It's definitely both.
It's both sided.
So Miss
I'm
J,
only going by
99.9%.
I'm only going by what was said today, and it's said today. And that's what they said. Most of the men, I'm not saying the women can't do it because
women do it.
I'm not saying they don't.
Miss
But
J,
if the
you
man's not
gave
interested,
women
what is he
1%.
to be chasing air. He gotta be. He has to be the one to take it to the next level. She ain't going to take it. She could take it to the next level, but for something to really happen,
right?
So
but
you can take it for what it's worth. In most cases, you know, if your mate and your girlfriend she's gonna let you know if she's not happy about something, and if you continue doing it, then you know you can see where it's gonna happen, and you're just not gonna. And then if that's what you want to pursue, then that's what you go with. That's all that is to it. And it depends on a couple. Like I said, a lot of couples are into swinging. They into exchange. They don't have a problem because they doing their thing.
Open relationships too.
Right. If your mate or girl don't have a problem with what you're doing, you better start thinking, what is it that she doing that she don't have a problem with what you doing, and vice versa.
Right. Yeah.
I agree.
And that brings us to the next one.
There's more.
Navigating a close friendship with an opposite sex co-worker.
Yeah. What about if the person you really tight with somebody on your job? Not necessarily 20-year friendship. You guys are really cool. You go out to lunch together. You go after work to the barge and lounge. You know, what if you get cool with somebody at your job? Oh, honey, hey, this is Michelle. I work with her. We're on a project together, so we'll be communicating a lot after work, to doing this and doing that.
Night projects.
Yeah,
Together.
late night projects. What do you feel about that?
I mean, I would say it's the same.
How you gonna make him quit his job?
I think this.
He got to put in another application somewhere else.
Are you gonna pop up?
That's what I'm saying. How is that now? You at the job? It's not no 20-year friendship like growing up. This is somebody that your husband or wife work with all the time, and they speak about, hey, we're doing this, and hey, guess what? Such and such, we did this today. We had to do this today. How do you feel about that?
I don't agree with that.
Yeah. Well, okay, speak your mind.
Because that happened when I was married. My ex did that all the time. It was this one girl. He would come in the house. Oh, hey, such and such. We was talking about this and this today. And I told him, cut that out. I said, if you talking to her so much, if she can't come here and meet the woman of the house, I don't want to hear nothing else about it.
So he talked about her constantly.
He talked about her all the time.
Oh, wow.
And I'm not dumb.
Good.
I'm very straightforward. And I said, listen, what you doing with this girl? Because she hasn't met the woman of the house yet.
Right.
I don't want to hear about her.
Right. So that was the topic all the time.
And then when she met me, I asked her straight up, are you and my husband messing around? I don't have time to sugarcoat. I'm not Willy Wonka, okay? Mm-hmm. I want to know what's going on. Because you're in my house. And you're in front of me. And I'm going to know if you're lying.
So he said that was his friend?
That was his friend, yeah. Because, it was the military. They worked at the, same job and stuff like that.
But
he was like, yeah, we're not doing anything together. Yeah, okay.
But it was just too much.
It was just too much. I don't want to hear about somebody I never see.
Right. All right. Okay.
So I felt uneasy about that. And when she, she let me know nothing was going on. She was in her own marriage. I said, that got nothing to do with it.
Right. Mm-hmm. So you have to be careful. That's something that, being too friendly at the workplace.
He cut her off eventually.
Okay.
But I still feel like they did something because I wasn't with him all day.
Right.
I was home.
Right.
So
you have to have respect at the workplace as well.
Yeah.
So Candace, you felt that in your heart, you felt that something was going on, regardless of what he was saying, and she.
Yes.
Her name is Giggles.
Wow.
Thank you.
Giggles, you felt something was going on between the two of them?
I did. It was an everyday thing. They would text, be on Snapchat, and Snapchat the messages.
That's too much.
And Snapchat the messages don't say.
They disappear.
Okay.
Snapchat the messages do disappear for those that don't know.
And I surprised him one time. He laying there talking to her. I came from behind him. What you doing?
Oh, so that's being disrespectful.
You know what I mean?
Okay, that's totally disrespectful. I mean, you already work with her at the job, but now you're coming home and you're texting and you're communicating. Okay, that's totally different.
And of course he's younger. He was younger than me. She was younger than him. So he was like, yeah, y'all should hang out. That's a negative, Kay. I don't want to hang out with her. Where am I taking her? The zoo? she's not even of legal age. Where are we going?
Right.
I don't want to hang out with somebody that I feel like is doing something with my husband, because she might not come back and then I'm arrested. We're not doing it.
All right, so the next show will be about therapy, sweetie. Okay, so take it easy because she going in. Okay, this is we're not in the courtroom. He's not next to me here. Order of the court, but she going in. Okay. So
hey, Giggles, I never knew you had that in you, Giggles.
I'm trying to tell you, I'm scared. I'm getting ready to leave. She going in. Okay, so should your significant other be, how do you feel about them being too close with the co-workers? And that applies from both sexes, men and women.
I think it still applies. You just gotta
right.
You gotta have trust in your partner. I mean, that's what it all comes down to.
I think it applies
really
regardless if y'all work together outside of the job, inside of the job. No matter what situation you're in, all rules still apply. It's just that simple.
I mean, you gotta have trust. You gotta have faith that the person you're with really cares for you and really loves you, and not gonna do something like that to you.
Okay.
I mean, that and that's what it comes down to.
Anybody else?
Yeah, you also can't give them the impression that it's okay for them to get.
You're right.
Get that close, or okay,
right.
We can have that kind of relationship, because if you the famous term, if you give them an inch, they go a mile, right? So
right.
If you leave that window slightly cracked open, eventually they'll just open it all the way.
They'll come right through.
Right. So like it's if you're gonna have a relationship with somebody at the workplace, it's got to be on a professional level, right? So professional,
absolutely,
absolutely.
Workplace, it's got to be appropriate communication. You can't communicate with that person after a certain amount of time during the evening, because or during a certain time of the day, because that part of the day, especially when you're done with work, is dedicated to your spouse, your significant other, your family.
Absolutely.
Because
absolutely,
if you leave that window open, then all of a sudden it's like, wow, if I'm okay to do
right
that, I can probably do that too. And plus, I'm comfortable with him or her. I really enjoy speaking to that person. Oh wow, like this person, confide in this person, and we all know what happens after that. So it's like,
right,
we have to be, our antennas have to be up in situations like that, and just know that at work, it's got to be that wall, right? It's got to be like the moment that you feel that conversation or that situation going slightly left, you got to pull yourself from it. And there's a lot of safeguards too, like in the workplace, like there's a lot of.
Hold on, David. Hold on. We have a lot of noise in the background. Hold on one second.
There's a lot of noise in the background. Can you mute your phone? Whoever that is, changing your clothes or something. Can you put your phone on mute? Go ahead, David.
Yeah, I mean, and there's
too much noise in the background.
From an HR standpoint too, right? There's a lot of rules and regulations behind fraternizing and having a relationship at work, right? So, you definitely want to make sure that you maintain a high level of professionalism, because obviously you get caught, like there's, you're subject to, disciplinary action up until termination. So
right.
Yeah, right. So like, you don't want to put yourself in a situation because of a relationship that you have with somebody that you already know is inappropriate from a professional standpoint, and also from a personal standpoint, especially if you have someone that you go home to.
Right.
You hit the nail on the head right there.
Right. You're right.
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. Now, you want me something?
That was said excellently.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Now we're gonna thank you for those answers. Those answers are awesome. But we're gonna go off on another topic. We got about good 15 minutes. Something happened on Instagram where the young lady, she had 3 different baby daddies. And so one of the baby daddies bought food for his child. And so the thing is it the baby daddy's responsibility to take care of the other kids? Now, he only bought McDonald's for his son. And she got mad. And I think she threw it. She threw it at him because she says every time you come here, you only bring food for your son. What about the other kids? I have other kids here too. So he did request, well, let me bring my son out to the car. He could eat McDonald's so the other kids don't feel no way. But she didn't like that. She felt that he should have bought food for everyone.
Okay, so let me say this. I know what you're talking about. My answer to that was he started something that he should have finished. With that being said, by him starting that, it took an argument between him and that woman for him to be in his feelings and say, okay, I'm only going to buy my child McDonald's. You figure out that other shit. I'm pretty sure that's how that went.
No cursing.
I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure that's how that went because their relationship is rocky. They don't speak. You know, they always have issues.
Right.
Yes, the children should not be involved. You buy one, you buy all. That's how I grew up.
That's
That's how we all, right. That's how we all grew up. Well, some people grew up. You buy one, you buy all, or nobody gets.
Right.
Now, was he being spiteful for doing that? Absolutely. But technically, in reality, he don't
so
have
much
to
noise.
buy.
Who's moving around?
Oh,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm in a room.
Okay.
Do he have to do that? Absolutely not. Is it his responsibility? Absolutely not, because he only has one kid. He doesn't have 4 kids with this woman. But like she said, you did it all these other times when you bought one, you bought for everybody else. Now there's one time you buy McDonald's, I mean, you're not getting along. Now you only want to take care of one child. He started that. He started that.
Is it that I thought they said that he only bought his child the food? I don't think
she came on another video talking.
Okay, got you.
That's how I know what you were talking about.
So he used to do it. So now they have problems.
Right.
He don't want to. He doesn't think that he has the. He don't. You know, he's not responsible for the other two kids.
But we don't know. But we don't know the extent of their problems, right? And it's only coming from her perspective, right? So the only perspective we have is hers. So we haven't heard from him. He hasn't dropped the video talking about, well, she's lying, she's this, she's that, and you know, like you said at the end, technically it's not his responsibility. Did he use it before? Yes. Like we don't know what led him to all of a sudden, like. At the end of the day, like if a man, like for me personally, my personal opinion, regardless of the situation, like you would still do for the other children, right? But something that happened in the situation, right, to where he felt compelled enough to be like, I'm only going to take care of my child, right? Because if he's going there as a father of a child to still go there, sit down, have lunch, bring his child, that means he's a father that's actively involved in his child's life. Right? I don't know how active he is, but that says that he's at least making an effort, right? And if he did that before, yes, he's a guy that's a stand-up guy. But something happened in this situation, and I'm just guessing right now. I'm speculating. I'm not saying it did, but something happened in that situation where he was like, I'm just going to do for my son right now. Something that he saw that was like, hey, yo, what's the deal with this? For him to be like, hey, I'm just going to bring this to my son because I see what's going on here. Or there was a situation that happened where he just said, I just need to do this because at the end of the day, again, it's not his responsibility, right?
Right.
Knowing that was a situation with her, more than likely, yes, right? But you can't shame the guy for doing that. If anything, you shouldn't have had the camera on. That should have been for the world to see. That's a conversation you have with that man in private. Right,
but the kid shouldn't suffer from what you're going through with her. You know what I mean? Because when you're with a woman who has kids, right? I think the dynamic is different.
Right.
You know, because if you're with a girl who has kids, if you're with them, that's like a total package that you're coming into. So you have to treat her kids as like if they're your own. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but but we don't know if it was a situation where he was like, "Oh, can you bring my son over here? I'm not able to do like I just no, I'm not able
I'm
to
so
do
sorry, D, Mr. Freeze. I'm so sorry. Is there running water? Somebody's running water or something?
Sorry, that was me.
Okay, it's making a lot of noise.
But
in the recording.
But I think that they shouldn't be like the kids shouldn't be the ones to be, neglected from what like I said on what. I mean, if he did it before, I mean, no matter how bad the relationship is going, if you did it before, the kid should never be punished for that, because that's not their. I mean, so why should they suffer from what you guys are going through? You know what I mean? So I think that's why I think when you're with someone who has kids, it's a total package, and it's a different dynamic. It's like a family dynamic is that you're going into. So you have
but
to
they're not together. They're not together though.
Right. Once
they're not together. He's not with her.
Once
he's not with her.
Is done.
No, he's not with her.
They're not together, so he's not obligated to do for anybody else's kid but his.
Right. And that's what pissed her off, because she
had 2 other baby daddies.
She needs to sit down and just maybe go to Planned Parenthood or something. I don't know. Okay, but she needs to relax. When they're together, great. I can see they're together. He's doing for each kid, even though he really don't have to either, to be honest, because he can walk away at any time. They're not married or anything like that. But once the relationship is severed, he's only responsible for the kid he laid down and had with her. That's it.
Right.
I think
maybe how he went about it was wrong. He could have just grabbed his kid, took his kid to McDonald's after they ate, came back. Maybe if he knew how she is. And things like that.
Well, he did request for her to let the child come out to the car and eat the McDonald's, but
she's probably hurt.
Bitter.
She's probably very bitter. And hey, listen, we don't know the in-depth.
We don't know the whole
what happened,
story, right?
So,
but it was a discussion that people were talking about, so I thought I wanted to bring that up
because it was just one-sided. He didn't say anything,
right?
So we don't really know what happened,
right? I don't know. It's a catch-22 with that, but my thing is, she has 3 baby daddies, so she needs to have a discussion with those 3 baby daddies, and maybe they need to meet up when he goes to McDonald's. Tell the other 2 to go at the same time, and that way everybody be happy.
There you go.
Because he's taking, maybe his financial situation is not good enough to take care of somebody else's children.
I also said that. I said, well, if she felt that strongly about it, you could have gave that man an extra $20 here. You going to McDonald's? Get the other kid something. Felt that strongly about it.
Well, he had came there with the food already, so
I'm sure she knew he was going.
And she said that she wasn't getting her check to the first of the month in the video. So so she didn't have the money.
That's not his responsibility. That's not his responsibility.
She better go do Uber. We don't got time for that.
No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree. Then she threw the food on the floor. So I don't agree with that. It's more to the story. She's bitter and angry. I don't think she should have threw the food on the floor.
She don't realize she's hurting her child and not him. She's hurting her child.
Why not let the child go out to the car and spend time with his father? That could have been quality time spending with the child, and he's eating lunch. It's like he's taking him out.
That's what.
Like the kid shouldn't be punished for that. I mean, that's not their fault. They're going through whatever they're going through.
He didn't even eat a fry. I would have ate a fry or something before I threw it on the floor.
McFlurries.
McDonald's fries are good. McDonald's got good fries. She just threw it on the floor. I wouldn't have did that.
I'd have ate that.
I think about these 5 fries.
Yeah, I think
she's crazy.
On a serious note, though, I think it just goes to show where they're at mentally. Right? Like if you know better, you do better, right? And if she was mature enough, she would know better than to behave like that. Like that's a conversation that you have. You went viral. We're talking about it, and you're a viral person now. But at the same time, you went viral for the wrong reasons, right? And we're having a discussion about it now, talking about who's right, who's wrong, and we're speculating about it. But at the same time, I think the bigger thing is, that's gonna be out there and last forever, right? And her children are eventually gonna be older, and they may see it, right? They're gonna see it, and they're gonna see their mother behaving like that, and they're gonna have questions about, who their father, well, not who their father is, but what he's about, and whether or not does he care for me? Did he care for us? So there's a lot of different things that that video in itself just said about, you know, where not just them, but just where a lot of people are mentally, right? Like, you know, we just got to do better. You know what I'm saying? Like, we
gotta
got
do better.
Yeah,
because she said, I don't even know why she recorded that. Like, that was just not cool. That wasn't cool.
That was too much. But my phone is about to die, guys. So I'm gonna probably have to hang up because my phone is gonna die.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for joining, Snooks. Appreciate you here. Appreciate you.
All right. Talk to y'all later.
All right. And we're gonna be wrapping things up too. We came up. We had some good comments.
Yeah, we did. It was. We appreciate everything. I mean, this was a intense.
Yes. Woo! Yes.
Man.
And people had to make sure you say things right.
Before you end, I was trying to say
she's
something.
back. Miss Jane's here.
But I got disconnected. Had to come back. In reference to the gentleman with the child. You know, children don't understand. They just see you bringing food to one child instead of the rest of them. So if you want to take your child, understanding you don't have to feed all the children. So that means taking your child and going someplace where the other children doesn't see you buying this child McDonald's. So you're still giving time and attention to your child, but you're not doing it at the expense of the other children who won't understand that.
Right.
Yeah,
that is true. But he did request. He said, "Well, can he come in the car with me?" And she said, "No." So it's more to it than we probably know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to say anything? We got 3 more minutes left. Anybody want to say anything else?
I think I like the fact that we had these conversations because I think a lot of it stems around, you know, our behaviors and how we present and represent ourselves out here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely,
you know, we're constantly under some type of microscope or some type of, I wouldn't say camera, but, you know, between our family, our significant others, you know, where we work professionally. And it's very important and imperative for us to, you know, to move the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And, you know,
absolutely.
If you're in a situation, you have to question whether or not it's the right or wrong thing to do, then more than likely you shouldn't be doing it. So I think having this conversation and being mature about it is very important, and having this discussion is very important too, because, you know, somebody might not have seen it that way, but somebody who's who's going to listen to the podcast will, you know, get a different perspective about it. Like, you know what, I never saw it that way. So you know, it's something that I have to take into consideration, because it's not just about me, it's about the folks around me and who it's going to affect, because it's not going to just affect me or my significant other. It's going to affect everyone else around, right? If you have children, it's going to affect them. You know, family is going to affect them. So it's very important to have the discussion.
Amen to that.
Yes. I hope you guys I'm going to invite you guys again, so I appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Awesome.
I want to thank y'all. Thank y'all for joining, listen in, and I hope y'all join my episode again.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And
thank you so much.
I like to add.
We got 1 minute, Miss J. 1 minute. 1 minute.
You know, whatever decisions we make in life, we should always draw on God's word, because it clearly states principles and guidelines and direction. And, you know, even Steve Harvey says that. So reflect on, and then this way you're not doing things to what you want to do, because your thinking might not be on the level of God's thinking. And, you know, and keep that in mind. And your children, and I always look at us and see what we do. So we have to set an example for them too. We want to walk the walk, but talk just talk the talk, but walk the walk. You got that, Tanya?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Those favorite words, Tanya.
Mommy.
That's right.
All right, Sister J. All right. Well, thank y'all so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. And I hope that you guys come on my next episode. I'm not gonna tell y'all what it is. I'm gonna surprise y'all.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. And Giggles, do you have anything that you want to say? But besides your husband, please, because she was getting ready to go in.
I think I said enough.
Anything you want?
I just want to say thank you, everybody, for tuning into this podcast. We really appreciate everybody's feedback. And we can't wait to have you guys on for another episode.
Yes. And I want to thank everybody out there for tuning in. Hey, Mr. Freeze, thank you so much. Again, I appreciate that. David, Miss J,
thank you so much for having me.
Miss T, wherever
Yeah,
Miss
thank
T
you
is
for
at,
having us.
tell her I said thank you too.
I'm back.
I want to thank.
You're welcome.
Oh, you there? Miss T is there?
I came back and I'm back.
Miss T. Oh, wait. I don't want to end this yet. Wait a minute. It's still counting. I want to hear her
Perspective?
Yeah, on the gentleman who
Oh, with the McDonald's?
Yes, I like the way you help me out with my sentences because I'm stuck. What's your opinion about the gentleman that only came with the food for his child? Because it was she has two other baby daddies, but he came to feed his child. What'd you think about that?
Well, I pretty much agree with what everyone else said. You know, you want to think about the other children. You know, she got 3
Right,
kids.
okay.
You know,
Okay.
you should have bought for the other children. And if you didn't have the financial means to do so, then instead of bringing the McDonald's in, maybe saying, okay, I have McDonald's for him. Can I bring him into the car? You know,
He did.
because he knows how sensitive this woman is, right? I'm sure he's been in other situations before. So,
Yes.
I don't know. Like David,
Yeah.
you know better, you do better, right?
Right.
Mhm.
So, amen. Yeah, can we add that other thing about the Roe versus? Yes. So Giggles, you're gonna just one more thing, guys. We gotta mention, we gotta get your opinions about this. I thought we were running out of time, but actually we're not.
Okay. How do you all feel about the Roe versus Wade verdict with the abortion?
I think it was a bad decision because there's a lot of different and being in healthcare, there's different factors that come into play when it comes to that decision, right? Because we've come a long way from a technology standpoint, evolution. Like we've come a long way from the abortions of old to the abortions of now. Like now, because of a lot of complications with health. You know, women are encountering a lot of different issues when it comes to childbirth or trying to have a child, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can go through them all. Like one of the examples is, hey, they know, I don't know the specific name of it, but they know that they're able to tell whether or not if a woman gives birth to a child, she may die, right? After giving birth to the child, right?
Wow.
Or it could be a situation where they'll know really early that, okay, this child, if you continue to carry this child is going to have a lot of health issues, right? If the child is born. And women are faced with a tough decision with that. There's situations where a woman, you know, she might have been, you know, forcibly raped and impregnated, right? Is she now supposed to carry the child that was born out of rape, right? Like there's a lot of different factors that come into that, and I think that it was a very and it's been something that they've been trying to pass for a long time, and it's politically motivated at the end of the day. You know, a lot of people probably feel different, but again, being in healthcare and seeing these different situations, like of course women want to have children, right? Nobody wants to kill a child, but again, like, you know, there's women out there that are like fighting to have children, right? Like are working really hard to have children, but just have a difficult time. Like nobody wants to not have a child that wants to have a child, right? But at the same time, it's like, you know, it's a woman's right to do what she wants with her body, just like it's a man's right to do what they want with their body. But again, I'm looking at it from a healthcare standpoint, right? Like, you know, there's a lot of different things that happen when it comes to women in childbirth, and it's not an easy thing. Like that's pretty much a major surgery having a child. And for them to do that, like you're putting a lot of women at risk and at danger because of it, you know, and we haven't gotten that far advanced where we can change the life cycle of a birth, or we can change or reverse a situation where a woman is not going to have major complications. Like I've known and seen situations where a woman died. Like I remember when I was really young, there was a woman that was trying to that woman that went to my church, and they were trying really hard to have a second child, and they were finally able to have a second child. And at birth, the mother died and the child died.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and maybe had she had known that was going to be her fate, she probably would have changed the trajectory, right?
Right.
But she wanted to have a child, and who knows if they told her that. So,
right.
Now that we have that information in our hands, right? Like, we've got to make good use to it, and we can't force a situation that naturally is not supposed to happen, right? Or that's going to be fatal at the end, right? That's going to have a negative outcome. So I don't mean to talk too much, but that's
no. Go
opinion.
ahead. Express yourself.
Yeah, I mean, that's just my opinion on that. I think that, I don't think they looked at it very closely. I think, and their intentions were, it's God's will for a woman to have a child, and, she's not supposed to abort the pregnancy. And there's a lot of different theories behind why they did it. And I'm not going to get into that as well, because we'll be here all night. But I just think that, if we're in a country where, it's a land of the free, home of the brave, then we should really stand by that. Right.
Right.
So
exactly. I don't agree with a bunch of men.
Wow, that was great, David. That was great. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
That's great.
Wow, David, I didn't know you could talk so much.
Wow.
No, I know he has to get. He's an intelligent speaker. That's one thing I like about him.
Yes. Absolutely.
But I just want to add, I've been reading a lot of articles on this.
Oh, Lord, we're going to be here all night.
But this,
y'all go ahead and get your blankets and pillows. Go ahead, Miss J.
Okay, first of all, this abortion thing is targeted mostly, it's going to really affect minority women, Black women, women of color. Now, I don't know the full reason for why they doing that, because a lot of white women have abortions too. However, percentage-wise, based on the amount of Blacks that's in this country, 17% compared to the amount of whites, we have more abortions percentage-wise than they do. Now, it could be, like David said, the government is political, because the amount of monies that they have to pay for these abortions, because a lot of these women can't afford to have them, so the government is paying for it. So, but there's a bigger issue, there's a bigger thing behind this, but percentage-wise, more Black women. And the other thing that this article said, that since women, women of color, and young girls who no longer have abortions, they're not having these babies. Well, guess what? That means they're able to go to school and get an education, and they're becoming politically involved. They're more vocal now. So it is interesting that they did this, because Black women of color are out there. They're political. They're getting people to go out and vote. They're behind. Look at the Stacey Abrams. Look at the people behind getting people out to vote. They're women of color. And so if they can keep you in a situation that you can't get out and get a top paying job because you didn't go get your education, you didn't go to college. And by these abortions they said since the abortions law passed, a lot of these young girls that would have been subjected to poverty, they went on and got an education. So that it could be the thing behind this, because I couldn't figure out why are they stopping abortions at this late. I mean, I know God's laws on it, and I agree. A lot of people are using abortion as a means of birth control, and that should not be. If you make a mistake, in God's eyes, it's still murder, right? But you made a mistake, he's a forgiving God. But not for you to have 5, 6, 7 abortions. Now you have misused.
There you go.
You have misused you have misused it. Because Russian women have 10, 15 abortions. I don't know if people know that. They're looking for abortions as a contraceptive. And unfortunately, with all the contraceptives that we have, including the day after pill, there's no reason that you should, the IUD, there's no reason that you should get pregnant without taking those precautions. However, because so many Black women are doing so much better because of it, and they saying economically we have done better, that we have less children growing up in poverty. When I read that today, it was like, now I know why they pushed it. That's one of the big reasons. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Yes, yes.
And that was in
Mr.
Government Exec. Anybody want to read the article? I can print it out for you and you can read it yourself.
Okay, I'm sure I'll get an email.
You and
I'm
Miss
sure.
D. You and Miss D.
Yes, I'm sure I'll get one. Yes. I think we got disconnected with Mr. D, but I love
I love his point of view on
point
that.
of view on that.
That was very. That was
Mr. Freeze, you have anything to say about this situation going on?
Well, I mean, I just gotta say that. I mean, like I think that like you ladies have said basically said everything. I mean, the women should have a choice on what they want to do. You know, I mean,
Right.
I mean, it's sad that you have that type of thing going on, because
Right.
like you said, like there are women in the world who want kids but can't have.
Right.
But it could be certain reasons or health reasons or whatever. But then there are ones that do have, but then they want to have abortions.
Right.
And I don't think that's right. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Right.
You know, but at the end of the day, it's the woman's decision to do what they want to do.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Gig? You anything you want to say about that?
I mean, I don't agree with, of course, a bunch of men deciding on a woman's body.
Okay.
But I see what it is from both standpoints.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, I should be able to do what I want to do with my body, but I do see the negative side of it where, you know, it's considered murder. I do understand that.
Religious reasons.
So it's a catch-22 with it, you know, but I feel like you should only be able to have an abortion if you were raped. Certain circumstances. If they know you keep coming back and forth, then we just see you a couple months ago, this your fourth one. No, you know, you got to stop it.
Right,
you know,
that's true.
you have to have this kid now. You keep laying there, you need to take care of your responsibility. It's becoming too much. And then your body can take all of that. You're only hurting yourself.
Right, and
in the
then
long run.
what happens when you really want to have a child? You won't be able to.
Right.
Or that years ago they used to do abortions 4 and 5 months. A woman was 4 and 5 months.
Woo.
So
They're still doing it. They're still doing it. Sometimes 6 months. But I just wanted to say too that you know, we just gotta have a little bit more. This, like David was saying, a lot of black women die with childbirth because they don't get the proper medical procedures, and so statistically, the amount of black women who die because of being pregnant or during childbirth is astronomical. Those numbers should not be like that, and there are black doctors that are trying to reach out to get women the medical care that they're getting, because they are not getting it from these white medical doctors. When we go in and tell them about certain illness, they ignore us, and that's profound throughout the medical field. They realize that Dr. Fauci said that a lot of people that died with COVID should not have died because the medical field was not in tune to what was going on with our people.
Didn't Oprah Winfrey have a show? Oprah Winfrey had a special. Didn't she have a special on that?
She might have, but I know you know that they know that there's a unfairness like everything else, but there's an inequality when it comes to the medical field with respect to our people and how they're treated. And
Oprah did have a special. She had a special on how it had
to do with COVID too. Remember, we
watched it. They weren't treated correctly. The black African Americans.
Yes, she
did.
did.
Yes. I remember that.
Yes,
she did. That was intense.
Right. They did.
Yep.
So now you know I'm talking what I know.
Yes, I see. Thank you. Round of applause. Yes. Okay, Anna, we covered so much information tonight. So we're going to end this episode by me saying, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in to Listen Up, Listen In podcast. Tell your family and friends, and I hope that we are leaving with some great information that will help others in their daily lives. I appreciate everybody. Mr. David, Miss T, Miss J, Mr. Freeze, Snooks, Giggles, and myself. And I want everybody to tune in next Friday. I'm not going to tell you what the episode is going to be about. You just have to tune in. You don't want to miss it. But always remember this. I tell everybody, always remember to live, laugh, love. Love yourself first, because you cannot love anyone until you love yourself first. Stay healthy, stay focused, be safe. God bless. Love you, mommy and daddy, forever. Give yourself a round of applause, and thank you so much for joining Listen Up, Listen In. You guys have a wonderful night.
Thank you. You too.
You too.
Okay.
Thank you. I
Bye-bye.
enjoyed everybody's
Thank you.
comments.
Yes, me too.
Awesome.
Thank you.
The two
Thank
men
you.
with the two men on were awesome. Thank
Yes.
you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you,
Reese.
Mr. Free.
Oh, thank
And
you
Mr.
so much
D,
for having
Mr.
me. I really
David.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
The two Davids.
Yes, yes. Thank
two
you so
Ds.
much. Yes. All right. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Hey everyone, this is Preezy. You know I gotta give the shout outs before I end the episode. Special shout outs to the 3 producers, JJ Cicero, Just AC, and Ty Beats. But wait. My co-host guests, they were awesome. Are you kidding me? This topic was hot. Opposite sex friendship. So let me thank Mr. David, Miss T, Snooks, Miss J, Freezer, and my co-host, Gas Giggles. Everybody did such a wonderful, wonderful job. I love the comments, the opinions. There's no right or wrong. I love it. It was awesome. And you gotta think, friendship between people of different genders can be wonderful. It can be. When men and women are just friends, right? You're in a relationship, you're married. Is it cool? I mean, I don't know. Can you be friends? I don't know. It's all up to you. But you gotta understand this. If you do have a best friend of the opposite sex and you're in a relationship, everybody does things different. But you gotta put your romantic relationship first. I mean, that's just my opinion. I believe that you do. Because if you want your romantic relationship to last, you need to put your partner first at all times. Especially if the relationship is longevity and you're married. I mean, you could know this person for many years, but you don't want any conflict between your friend and your partner. And don't expect them to always be friends now. I know situations where, hey, the partner don't really care for the best friend. Whatever. Hopefully that won't be a situation that happens all the time. We know it does. But hey, it is what it is, right? But you got to be honest with your partner. You have to. Trust is the key to any relationship. And your partner needs to know that they can totally trust you when it comes to this friend. For real. You got to ask yourself. You got to put yourself in your partner's shoes. Because you don't want your partner to be jealous. You don't want to do inappropriate things to make your partner be upset. You shouldn't be flirting with your friend. You're going to tell jokes and have a good time with each other, but it shouldn't be no flirty, touch it, feel it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Especially when your partner is present. Come on, that is totally disrespectful. You wouldn't want your partner to do that to you, so don't do it to your partner. It's just common sense. But sometimes common sense is not always common. Think about what it looks like from the outside. Just turn the tables around. We don't want no inappropriate friendship. You are committed to this person. You love this person. You're in love with this person. So your friend should understand that. If they are your true friend. And you know I'm going to have an episode, fake friends for real friends. But I'm telling you, if this is your true friend, then they will respect not only you, but your relationship or your marriage. So, make sure that's a true friend. You know, I don't care how many years you've known somebody. That doesn't mean anything. Not today. Trust me. You got to treat your partner the way you want to be treated. And that's the bottom line. It's all about respect. But it's about trust too now. It's about trust. Don't make your partner think that they're crazy or whatever. And just make them feel comfortable. And if they don't feel comfortable, then it's something that you guys have to talk about. Listen to their concerns and be honest with yourself. Be honest with them. You know, because we all want a healthy and supportive friendship, but we also want a healthy and supportive and loving relationship. It makes sense? Yeah, it makes sense to me. You gotta compromise too. Remember, when you were single, you did whatever you had to do. But now, if you're in a relationship and your marriage is us. So you have to make each other feel comfortable. And you know, sometimes it's not easy because people are insecure. And that makes things a little bit more difficult. But you definitely gotta have that communication. We all know that communication is the key with anything. And you gotta sit down and you talk about it. You know? So, you gotta make an effort. You know? Maybe that best friend has a partner. You and your partner, you get together and you all go out. That would be awesome. You know? But you gotta talk. Talk things through. You don't want no jealousy. Because that jealousy can cause so many problems with your relationship. Especially if there's any concerns, talk about it. Never be nervous to speak to your partner. And I know that can happen. Even if you can't speak to them, write stuff down. You gotta talk. Stay focused. Communicate. You know? Don't just brush things off. Whatever, that's my friend, whatever. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because you wouldn't want your partner to do that to you. Have respect. And so, is it okay for men and women to be friends? Platonically? I'm sure. But it's just something that you have to make sure that it's platonic. Because you may be cool and say we good. But is that person that you call a friend being honest? Are they liking you? You should know. And that's when you gotta have a talk with your friend. And you might have to just, if it gets to that point, I have to stay away. Find out what's more important to you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the episode and thank you for joining. Love your best friend platonically and your partner as well. Peace.
That concludes this episode of Listen Up, Listen In with your host, Preezy. Hey, yo, Preezy, tell them how to keep in touch, baby.
Go to Instagram, Listen Up, Listen In, 5687. and on Facebook, Listen Up, Listen In. You can also email me at listenuplistenin5687@gmail.com. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, by following me on social media, you'll be able to see all the platforms my podcast is on. Wherever you consume my podcast, hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when a new episode is posted. Rate, review, and share this podcast.
Listen up, listen in. Listen up, listen in. Yeah.